Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So back to what we were talking about. I started learning at the age of 4, but I never memorized an ayah, a hadith, anything from our imams that were available at the time until like 16 months later, because they were preparing me upon the adab of haml al-ilm, the adab and etiquettes of seeking knowledge. Because you have to start with adab of ilm before the ilm itself, the etiquettes of knowledge before seeking the knowledge itself. Everybody needs that. Nobody can get knowledge. If you get knowledge without the adab of it, you're going to have problems later on with people, and you're going to have problems with yourself because the adab and the etiquettes are not there. You will see this vividly or find this easily in the story of Prophet Musa alayhi salam and Prophet Khadr alayhi salatu wassalam. When Prophet Musa stood up among the children of Israel or the children of Israel and gave them khutbah, the hadith in Bukhari, they asked him, who is the most knowledgeable? He said, I am the one. So Allah subhanahu jallat qudratu taught Prophet Prophet Musa alayhi salam different lessons. That there is a slave whom we've blessed with ilm, some portion of it that we did not reveal to you. So go and seek knowledge from him. Long story short, this story is mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf in the 18th chapter of Quran, from the 60th verse of it all the way to 82nd or up to ayah 82 in this Surah Al-Kahf. So when Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam started his ilm or the journey of seeking ilm, he met Prophet Khadr alayhi salatu wasalam. The first thing he asked, he did not say, I came here to seek knowledge. He asked his permission. هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا أو مما علمت رشدا? Will I have your permission to sit before you, to seek knowledge from you, before you, in front of you, that which Almighty had vouchsafed unto you? I want some. Do I have that permission, or will you permit me to do that? While Prophet Musa, he left his place and he said, I will never give up till I meet Khadr and seek knowledge from him. But when he met him, he did not say, I came here to seek. He asked his permission. So from this, there are different etiquettes that Imams mention in the book of Imam Al-Qurtubi in, Al-Jami' Al-Ahkam Al-Quran for Imam Al-Qurtubi, Al-Jami' Al-Bayan Bita'wil Al-Quran for Imam Al-Tabari, and also Tafsir Al-Azim for Imam Ibn Kathir, and Ad-Durr Al-Manthur. Other books of tafsir mention some etiquettes that without them you cannot really get the benefit of ilm. But most of the people, as Imam Ibn Kathir said, people today, they miss this etiquette. That's why barakah is not put in their knowledge. See, Imam Ibn Kathir died 774 after the Hijrah, and today is 1437. So he died 774 years after Prophet. He's saying that this etiquette now you can only find them in Kutub al-Ulama, books of scholars. He said that time. How about this time if Imam Ibn Kathir were to be with us? So what the scholars did at the time is that they started teaching me the etiquettes and the adab, haml al-ilm. But at the time I will not be able to understand the adab, so they put it in practice. So I will go sit from the beginning of the lesson to the end without reading, without doing anything, without them even speaking. I'm just sitting for 16 months. The parents, may Allah bless them, they did not complain. They did not say why the shaykh is not teaching. So my older brother, Shaykh Sharafuddin, used to take my hands to that circle of ilm at the very beginning. So back and forth like that, 16 months later, I started memorizing. So this is the brief that I could mention.
So the next question is, how and where did you complete Quran?
I completed Quran. I cannot really recall because at that time I was young. I believe like at the age of 11 or 12 the max when I finished memorizing Quran. And I finished memorizing Quran. I didn't even know that I memorized. The reason of this is that, they have like the graduation ceremony at the end of, every lunar calendar. So what they will do, they will bring the huffaz and the hafadah to come and test all of them before they will give you the certificate or the ijazah. And that ijazah must also be directly from Muntada, from Saudi Arabia, that you've completed Quran. So at the time, I was not among the huffaz, but the mufti of the place, or the teacher of the highest in rank, said, if you can test him and see. So they tested me throughout Quran, and then I read, even though they had me prepared to complete like 2-3 years later. So I was able to recite, from A to Z, and then they regarded me as a hafiz from that time. So they regarded me as a hafiz, but I didn't know whether I am or not. No.
Yes, the next question is, could you tell us about your happiest moments in your path of seeking knowledge, and some of the more difficult moments, and how did you overcome some of those hardships?
The happiest moment that I can recall, Allah subhanahu jalla jalalu had blessed his slave in seeking knowledge to an extent that we used to go to school, regular school, Islamic school, but the secular education takes approximately like 85% of the hours. So we will seek knowledge, Islamic education for like 2.5 hours, and then 6-7 hours only secular education. So the parents realized that this will not allow me to get the knowledge that I want or need Islamically. So they started providing, different platforms for me. And some of the platforms I can share with you is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given me in each field the toughest of the field. Like in Arabic, I will have the toughest Imam. In Arabic, the toughest in Quran, the toughest in Balagha, the toughest in Hadith, the toughest in Usul, just like that. And what they used to do is that they used to prefer, after teaching us in school, they used to take me also one-on-one. What this did, that I discovered, I learned from them in 4 years what I did not learn from school in 12 years. What happened is that, like let's say in Lugha, in the science of Lugha, I will not go based on the curriculum of the school, just like the world does today, whether it's secular education or Islamic, that you go to school, you will have like 45 minutes, math, 45 minutes or 40, depending on the average hours that the school requires. Maybe 35 minutes math, 35 minutes science, 35 minutes social studies, 45 minutes physics, or something like that. The same thing they used to do, like 35 minutes Quran, 35 minutes Lugha, 35 minutes, something like. So it was very short. But after going out of the school, what they used to do is that the Imam of Lugha will have me to go through Lugha from A to Z, based on a book, not the curriculum. And the Imam of Hadith will have the same thing for me. And my father, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to extend in his life and age and put barakah and accept him also among Salihin on the day of Qiyamah. He used to put me as a servant. He used to serve them just like I'm a slave to those teachers. Whatever a slave will do to his master, I used to do for the teachers. So I used to sit before Shaykh Muhammad Musa, a graduate from Al-Madinah, and a Shaykh, a Dr. Umar Abu Hashim, one of the Imams with Doctora in Martabat al-Ula in Al-Azhar, original from Egypt, who used to teach me tafsir and also in Sharia, and a Dr. Atiyah, also Egyptian, who taught me al-Lugha. In the first meeting between me and him, he asked me, what is your name? I said, my name Okasha. But at that time, I used to say Okasha. without shadda on the kaf. And the name has two pronunciations, which I didn't know at the time. So I said Okasha. So he said Okasha with shadda on the kaf. Then I said Okasha. So he asked me, هل تستطيع أن تجيء لي بفعل عكاشة? Can you provide the verb of that noun Okasha? Because Okasha is a noun. I want a verb of it. I looked at him just like a bird whose wing is actually inundated by very cold and gelid water. So I looked at the Imam, I didn't know what to say. So he laughed and he said, Okasha is actually from Akasha. And the word Akasha ya'kushu u'kush fahuwa ma'kushu. So from that moment, he generated the love of Arabic language in my heart. The way he put that generated the love of Arabic language in my heart. And that was the beginning of my journey, especially in Arabic. And through this Imam, Dr. Atiyah, and the help of Shaykh Muhammad al-Amin Hussein, a graduate from Al-Madinah also, and the teacher of Balagha at the time, and also the help of Sheikh Rufa'i as well. From them all, I started learning specifically Balagha in Arabic language, and Sheikh Zainuddin Abdul Mu'min, and they helped me even in school in Arabic language. I never received 99, it's always 100 plus, because of the way they gave me that language, the Arabic language. So this is how I learned from them, aside of my school every day, because I used to go to school from 7:30 to 9:30 is only Arabic, and then from 9:30 all the way to 3 is English, just like regular education. And then after that, from 4 o'clock, I used to go to Tahfiz to memorize Quran for like an hour and a half. When I'm done, I used to go to our Imams from 6 all the way to 11 p.m. So that was my routine for 8 years.
SubhanAllah, so I know that many times students, when they take this journey of seeking knowledge, they face a lot of hardships, with like family, and particularly I can remember when I was in Medina, the American student body was the largest amount of students. Not only the American student body, but the Westerners, period. They were the majority of students that were dropping out and coming back home because of various issues with family and work and, just trying to, struggle. So what are some of the things that you faced in your journey, like hardships that you faced, and how did you overcome those things?
At the beginning, what really caused, some hardship and difficulties on us was the amount of miles that we used to take to our teachers. Sometimes, we walk on our feet for like 10 miles to go to some of the imams, and then you're going to do the same thing coming back home. So you go in early in the morning, sometimes, especially in the weekends, you have nothing in your stomach, just like a bird, going out, nothing in it, and you may come back, nothing in your stomach. And sometimes you even have to sleep, so that you can forget about your hunger in order for you to be able to memorize. So that was really one of the difficult parts of seeking knowledge. And also our father, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reward him for what he did. He put us on a service to serve our mother. And we used to serve, before you even go to seek, you have to make sure you give your service. So the work that female's supposed to do, my brother and I, we used to do it. We used to go get water for her. We used to wash dishes. We used to wash clothes. We used to do everything for her before we go. And before we leave the house, she always make dua. She used to make dua. And she makes dua always for us, saying specifically, may Allah give you what you want, and also place in the hearts of people acceptance of what you will give them later on in your lives. So this is what she used to say, and I believe that dua also played, played a big role in our lives, because the rest of my brothers, they also helped me, because I have 3 of them ahead who started and they completed before me, so they helped me out. But sometimes, with the imams, they used to take me from the classroom sometimes for me to do something, personal for them as part of the service. And after that, they used to take care, like good care of me. Some of them I used to spend, night in their libraries, like Sheikh Muhammad Al-Amin Hussein, the almost we can say the sha'ir of the place. And he used to give me the book of Imru'ul Qais, the Diwan of Ibnu'ul Qais, to memorize the shi'r of it. Very difficult, but he used to push me to do it. Early in the morning, I will go and get ready to school. So when some of the students, discovered that type of attachment and closeness to the imams, I faced some difficulties and some hardship from even the principal of the school, why the teachers will take me above the rest of the students. And I had issues with that. And at once I remember they asked me not to come to school because of that. And that has another story, which I keep it in ilm al-ghayb between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that part, most of the imams, other than the ones that I named, because I have actually read to more than 50 of them, more than 50 shuyukhs of the time to them, and most of them would like to have the best student in a field. They will take me, okay, you want to have the best student because the best that you get in your field means you're the best. So each one of them will take me for his field and give me something extra so that I will be the first in that field. So that's what caused me to go through some afflictions with some of the students and some of the teachers. And some of them disliked me for some reason, only Allah knows. But for the most part, most of them took me as their own child.
The next question I have is, many people, they memorize the Quran and then they forget it. So what is some advice that you could give in order to retain the Quran after you memorize it?
Whoever had memorized Quran, and that person, whether he or she had forgotten that book, the best thing is to regard yourself as a non-hafidh and start over. If not, you're going to stress yourself and you will never get it better again. If you memorize Quran and you've forgotten it, or maybe your pronunciation in some places or most are not really clear, the best thing is to start over. Some will say, well, all the years that I spent, yes, all the years that you spent so that you can get it better. Imam Hassan al-Ju'fi, he memorized Quran in 15 years, ayah a day. So, and that was one of the contemporaries of Imam Hafs ibn Sulaiman, or even his teacher Asim, the one whose narration most of the world utilize, most of Islamic worlds actually utilizing his recitation. So he memorized Quran 15 years and ayah a day, and after that his memorization was really strong. Imam Asim, the teacher of the narrator or the transmitter of this narration, Imam Asim was actually blind. And Imam Asim said, I felt sick once for 2 years, being blind. I've never opened Quran and I've never heard it being recited except, myself is making salah. After 2 years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me my health back. I recited Quran from Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen all the way to Min al-Jinnati wal Nas, and I did not repeat even an ayah, and I did not get stuck by making mistake. So this is how they memorize Quran. So I say to the students, especially in America, most people memorizing Quran so that they can join that line, I'm a Hafiz, or I have memorized Quran. Do not let people to regard you as a Hafiz. Let the Imams of the field regard you as a Hafiz, then you are a Hafiz. But if people say you are a Hafiz and Imams look at you, you're not, then that means you are not indeed. So let the people of that field regard you as a Hafiz, then indeed you are. Most of the people had memorized Quran and they forgotten Quran because the way they memorized Quran, it wasn't really strong. And if you have 5 years to memorize Quran, even though you don't really put years for memorization of Quran, just go based on what you can do. This is the advice of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anh, that you do not age or put an age around Quran that I want by this time I want to have it done. What this will do, that this will cause some damages for you without you knowing. You will pass on some pages because the time you're almost running out of time. You've given yourself 5 years and it's almost there, so you will push yourself to have it done before that 5th year arrives. So what you will do after that is that you will just microwave your memorization, and you will struggle throughout your life. And if you memorize an ayah wrongly, you may not get it back the way it's supposed throughout your life. Even if you do, whenever you recite that verse, the other memory will recall the way you used to read it wrongly. So if you have that on each and every page, that will cause problem to you in your memorization. So let's take it easy. For an example, I have 5 years to memorize. This is just an example, even though we don't put years around. I have 5 years. I have to use at least 4.5, like 4 years, 6 months memorizing. At least. What you will do, if your memorization is strong, if your memorization is really strong, you don't really need time to review that much. But if your memorization is weak, you have to employ extra hours than the hours you did when you were memorizing in order for you to remember and gain it back. And whenever you finish, it may stay with you for a month and you're going to forget again. Then you will have to do the same thing. So it's like you're overtasking yourself as a result of not memorizing well. So parents, please do not push your kids or your children, memorize it, care about memorizing it well than just, finishing it right away. So this is what I can say. In America, we have a lot of huffaz, but the really hafadha are few. Like Prophet said in terms of Hajj, al-rakbu kathir wal-hajju qalil. Many people will go to Hajj, but the real ones that will perform Hajj based on the nusuk of Prophet ﷺ and his method of Hajj will be very, very few. So most will go, many millions will go to Hajj, but very few hundreds will perform it according to the guidance of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the students or huffaz in America, let's try our best. Don't worry about people calling you a hafiz. Let the people of the fun regard you as a hafiz, and take it easy when you're memorizing. And if there's something difficult that you did not get well, regard yourself, I didn't memorize. Some of our classmates, when we were memorizing, some jumped Surah Taha, some did not memorize Surah Al-Shu'ara, some did not memorize Surah Al-Ra'di, some escaped Surah Yunus, some escaped Surah Al-Jathiyah or Al-Sharia, and some did not memorize Al-An'am, saying that they're difficult, so they will finish memorizing Quran and then come and create a special time for those surah. You will never get them the way you want, because Quran is placed this way for a reason. So if you try to bypass, you will overtask and make it difficult on yourself. So this is what I can say to this effect, bi'idhnillahi tabarak wa ta'ala, to what you've asked.
Jazakallah khair.
Hayakum.
Inshallah, we don't want to make it too lengthy. Some of the brothers in the audience may have a few questions. So inshallah, we can take a few questions. Huh?
2 or 3 questions. Just 2 or 3. 2 or 3, that's it. 2 or 3. That's it.
No problem.
1 question, please. 1 question. Don't.
نعم. حياكم ربنا يكرمك. نعم. كيف تجد في طيب. Our brother asked after making dua, and I ask Allah to also reward him in his dua. He said he had 2 questions. The first one was about maintaining your ilm, how to maintain and retain your ilm, because sometimes, like we said, you memorize and you forget. The best way to really maintain and retain your memorization is by applying what you know. That's one of the best ways. I'll give you an example. You see somebody drinking alcohol, for instance. So now you know that drinking alcohol is forbidden and is haram. So as a student of knowledge, what will come to your mind is the ayah 219 of Surah Al-Baqarah. إنما الخمر والميسر والأنصاب والأزلام رجس من عمل الشيطان, or the one يا أيها يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر. The first is in 90th verse of Surah Al-Uqud. The one that I'm reading now is in Surah Al-Baqarah 219. where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ وَمَنَافِعُ لِلنَّاسِ. So by remembering that, you try to remind yourself, the reason why this is haram because of this verse. So you read that verse just by seeing the person who is drinking or who just finished drinking. So you try to read it. If you read that verse and you still remember the verse, that means the verse is with you. If you don't remember it, open it and review it. When you see the same incident, try to remember that verse and attach number to that verse. So you, outside in the street, you will see certain things, sometimes positive things, sometimes negative. Whenever you see positive things, you try to remind yourself of certain things that will help you to maintain the verses that actually promoted that, and the verses that also say they are haram. So you're always trying to refresh your memory by some things that you memorize that either approve something or disapprove them. So this one of the best ways. The more you practice or reminding yourself, you will remember. But at least you try your best to review more than you memorize. This is the second best way of retaining ilm. You review more than you memorize. I share with some of our brothers today the statement of Hilal ibn al-Ala, طلب العلم شديد وحفظه أشد من طلبه ومراجعته أشد من حفظه والعمل به أشد من مراجعته والسلامة منه أشد من العمل به. Seeking knowledge is difficult. Memorization of it is much difficult. Now to review and retain what you've memorized is even more difficult than the previous two. And for you to apply what you know is even more. And for you to be saved from people with what you practice is even more. And for you to be, among those whom Almighty will mercy through their own ilm and knowledge is even severe than all the four above mentioned or earlier mentioned. So ilm is different level. So you try your best, number one, to apply what you know. Number two, to review more than you memorize. So this is the second way. Now, how to also encourage yourself to learn more and more and more as part of his second question, so that you can have extra energy in seeking knowledge. Because sometimes as a student of knowledge, you lose sometimes you lose interest. You will lose interest if you're not seeking knowledge properly. You will completely lose interest of seeking if you do not seek knowledge properly. Most of us seeking knowledge today, we did not really get the adab of al-ilm first, because we have at least 10 adab that as a student of knowledge you have to know. And after that we have maratib al-ilm, the levels of ilm. The first level, the second, nearly 6. So if you don't have the adab, the 10, and the maratib, the 6, sometimes you will get to a point you will try to give up. So have somebody to walk you through the adab and the maratib. It will be much easier, and all the time you will see yourself trying more. And always never compare yourself with the people that you see in front. Okay, I see somebody, mashallah, who has a lot of followers on YouTube. I want to be like him too. I see somebody with a lot of likes on Facebook. I want to also have that, some of that, like that page. I have a lot of followers and a lot of people on Twitter. I also want to have something like that. Always try to pick up somebody among our predecessors. No, my goal, I want to be like Shaykh al-Islam in fiqh. I want to be like Sibawayh in Nahu. I want to be like Naftawayh in Lugha. I want to be like Abu Amr al-Basri in al-Lugha. I want to be just like Imam al-Ram Hurmuzi in Hadith. I want to be like Imam, Ibn Abd al-Barr al-Hafiz Abu Umar in fiqh. To those people, you try your best to compare yourself, the limit that you have and also where they've reached. So you will see yourself always, you competing with the best. So if you compete with the people that is nearly impossible to be like, you will see yourself different among your own peers that you're living with. So let's try our best to look up those who preceded and those who came, the leaders of the fun, so that we can gain more. And this should be an advice also to the students and all of us among them. And what will also help in his question, how to maintain the love and also to push yourself forward. Try your best. Most of the students, they memorize Quran and then they stop, like they finish memorizing. If you memorize Quran, that doesn't mean you finish memorizing. Finish memorizing Quran means you just finished level 1 of memorization. You didn't even get to 2 yet. So as a student who had been blessed to have Quran, try your best to have, a hadith, because this will help you understand. So we have Muslim, we have Bukhari, we have Darimi, we have Jami' for Tirmidhi, we have also a Sunan for Imam Abu Dawood as-Sijistani. We have the book of, Al-Mustadrak for Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hakim al-Naysaburi. The books, you try your best to start, because once you finish memorizing Quran, the memorization is vivid in your memory. So you try your best to start memorizing something after that, so that you keep what you've memorized. The more you keep yourself busy memorizing, you actually maintaining what you've memorized, but you don't know whether you review or not. But if you start memorizing, because alhamdulillah, I will say something that, Africans will be angry at me, but I will ask them to forgive me later on. In Africa, they say, something I believe, Nasawke Qur'ani. It means, I have dropped Quran. It's like Quran was on their head and they've dropped it. Like I finished reading, like I'm done. No, nobody will finish. That's why Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah said, the more you read Quran, you get to know something that you've never knew before, only if you ponder. You see, so the more you memorize something extra, we have a hadith. After that, memorize mutun in fiqh. After that, have some explanation of, sihah. You have Umdat al-Qari to help you understand Bukhari. You have Fath al-Bari for Imam ibn Rajab al-Hanbali. And then after that, you have Fath al-Bari also for Imam ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. And you have the book of Imam Abu Zakaria al-Ansari for Sharh of Imam al-Bukhari. And then after that, we have one for Imam al-Nawawi for Muslim. We have a lot. So students, please do not stop seeking or memorizing by the virtue of finishing Quran, or I have finished Quran, therefore alhamdulillah, I'm the best in my community. You will be the best in that community, but when students of knowledge are gathered, you will see yourself in the back seat. So don't be in the back seat when students are gathered. Try to be in front. So if you are in front among regular people and in the back seat among the people of knowledge, and that means you did not really gain what a student of knowledge is supposed to gain. So this is a basic thing that I can say. So we have 2 more, and then we wrap up. Naam, this one and the brother. Naam. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. يعني طريقة المثلى لتعلم اللغة هنا في أمريكا طلبة العلم. The best way to seek to learn Arabic language, especially for the students here in America or in North America or in the Western world, the best way to learn Arabic. The best way to learn Arabic is to have someone who had really learned it the way it's supposed to provide the means of learning the Arabic. Most of what we see today in the world concerning Arabic language, people really learn Arabic. They try to get, some Medina book. They get this book, they get that book, they get gateway to Arabic. They have a tariqatul, al-lughatul arabiyya لغير الناطقين بها وهلم جرى. A lot of books. But actually, they're not learning anything from the books. They're only memorizing vocabularies. You can have the best vocabularies in the world and be in Arabic like Sibawayh and in English like Peter Sakalowski. You will never be able to formulate a very moving and shaking sentence unless somebody had walked you through. Because most of what people do today, they learn Arabic language and they learn the rules of Arabic language. So they know that if you have fi'l, what comes after fi'l is fa'il, and fa'il is always marfu'. And then after that we have maf'ulun bihi, and it's always mansub. We have mubtada, we have khabar, we have tamyiz, we have hal, we have munada murakham, we have tamyiz, we have atf, we have asma ishara, asma al-mawsula, all of this. So they actually learn all the rules of Arabic. But when they speak, Sibawayh, he will be angry at them because they're breaking the rules. So you may have the rules in your head, but when you speak, you make a mistake. And the purpose of Arabic language is not the rules, it's to speak like them. So knowing the rules without knowing how to speak, or when you speak you make mistake, grammatical, different mistakes in grammar, different mistake in the structure and all. This is not, they say, سُمِّيَ النَّحْوُ نَحْوًا لِكَيْ يَنْحُوَ الْمَرْأَ نَحْوُ الْعَرَبِ أو الْعَرَبِ إذا تكلموا في لغتها. You see, our nahu is called nahu so that a person who has nahu in him will follow the nahu of Arabs in their nahu. So it means when you sit down or you stand up to speak, you speak like the way Arabs used to speak, whether you know rules or you don't know. The purpose of nahu is to be able to speak like the way they did. That's why one of them said, I'm not an Arab, but just by being with them closely and observing the way they used to speak, I started speaking like them without even making a mistake, though I'm not even an Arab. وَلَسْتُ بِعَرَبِيٍّ يَلُوكُ لِسَانَهُ وَلَكِنْ سَلِيقِيٌّ أَقُولُ فَأُعْرِبُ. I'm not an Arab, but it's just because I mingled with them, I started speaking it, and I don't even make a mistake when I speak. So the students shouldn't really worry about grammar, even though it's important. It's really important. But you see, Arabic language consists of two branches. We have lugha and we have nahu. The purpose of lugha is to make sure you know how to pronounce each and every letter by the vowel that it deserves to have, which ilm al-sarf deals with. So you know that if I have fa'ala, the mudari of it will be yaf'alu or yaf'ilu or yaf'ulu or something like that. So this is sarf, like in lugha. بفعل للفعل ذي التجريد أو فعولة يأتي ومكسور عين أو على فعل فالضم من فعل الزم في المضارع وافتح موضع الكسر في المبني من فعل وجهان فيه من احسب مع وغرت وحرت نعم بئست يستوله يبس وهلة وأفرد الكسر فيما من ورث وولي ورم ورعت ومقت مع وفقت حلة وثقت مع وري المخ حويها وأدم كسرا لعين مضارع يلي فعل ذا الواو فاء أوليا عين نوك أتى كذا المضاعف لازما كحن طل. So all this will help you and allow you to know where to drop the fatha, kasra, dhamma or stuff like that, but it has nothing to do with nahu. The purpose of nahu is to make sure whenever you pronounce like a word, you know the vowel that the last letter deserves. So you can see lugha or sarf deals with all the letters in a word, but nahu deals with the last word. So if you say wajada, lugha or sarf will actually deal with waw, jim, and dal. Nahu will only deal with the dal, what the dal deserves, that's it. So whenever you finish a word, you have to make sure you know what to drop on it as a vowel. That's what nahu does, that's it. You see, so that's why we shouldn't really waste our time. When you start learning Arabic language, you try your best to learn speaking it, not just words, vocabularies. I want to memorize this word. You may have like thousands of words in your mind, but you cannot really put them together. So you have everything. If they tell you what is this, you can call it. What's the name of this object? You can name all the objects out there in the world. They ask you to speak. You see yourself, you be stagnant just like a stagnant water. You can't move. So the purpose of Arabic is not the vocabularies, to have a lot, it's for you to be able to speak. So students who want to learn Arabic language, do not worry about qawaid at the beginning or sarf at the beginning. Learn how to speak it, how to say it. And make sure you know how to say it based on the classical, not the ones that we have out there, whether it's from Malay wala Aizi wala مش عارف ايه ولا الكلام الفاضي ده كله ولا بتاع الكلام ده ايه يعني مش الحكاية دي. معلش أهل مصر بقى سامحوني يعني. عارف كل مرة بنعمل خزعبلات شوية كده. You see, so we do not do stuff like that. You see, try to get the really Arabic, and then later on you worry about sarf. Later on you worry about lugha. So learn how to say it. Get somebody, okay, if I want to say this, how should I say it? Based on the nahwu of Sibawayh, the nahwu of those Arabs. If I want to say this, so basically whatever you do, just make it easier so that I do not prolong, more than this. In short, See the way you speak in English, the things that you say every day in English, when you meet, when you talk, when you sit, the way you're dealing with people, try to get somebody who qualified. In Arabic, okay, this is the words that I say basically every day in English. How can I say them if I want to translate them in Arabic? And then you start practicing on that. So you see yourself now, you start learning how to speak it. And guess what? Once you grab a word, start practicing. People will laugh at you at the beginning. People will laugh. Maybe they say, Ar-razanati qanqala. You may say razanatu bumbula. People will laugh at you. Or qunqula. They will laugh at you. But guess what? Let them laugh today. They will be laughed at tomorrow. Let them laugh at you today. They will be laughed at tomorrow. I didn't say you should laugh at them tomorrow. No, they should be laughed at tomorrow. You see? So this is the easiest way to learn Arabic, briefly. And inshallah, I'm actually writing a curriculum of learning Arabic from A to Z, bi-idhnillahi tabarak wa ta'ala. And soon we will have it, in Ink Institute, bi-idhnillah. So maybe the last, our brother and somebody said he raised his hand also. So we switch these two and then we close. Now, that was your question? Okay, وَأَعْطِيتَ سُؤْلَكَ. طيب, تفضل. Okay, this is a very good and very valid point. When you lose your your memorization, when you've lost your memorization, you shouldn't look at people like this person. Look at yourself. Okay, if I stand before Allah, will Allah regard me as a hafiz? When you stand before Allah, will Allah regard me as a hafiz? Even the whole world regarded me as a hafiz. Will Allah regard me as a hafiz? Because on the day of Qiyamah, Allah will put you under a test. Iqra, warqa warattil. Allah will put you under test to see whether you've memorized. He knows. He knows everything, subhanahu wa ta'ala. But وَلِيَعْلَمَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلِيَعْلَمَ الْكَاذِبِينَ. So read, recite, and you will keep on coming up. So when Allah asks you, look at yourself right now. Were you to be called by Allah today or tonight, and on the day of Qiyamah, you are brought before Allah and He asks you, my slave or my servant, recite. Will you be able to really recite from A to Z? If the answer is yes, you are a hafiz. If answer is no, then start memorizing again. Because the point is that you want to be counted among huffaz when you meet Allah. And please, not only for the children, our brothers and our sisters, young and old, try your best to put up a schedule for yourself that I want to memorize Quran before I meet Allah. I want to memorize Quran before I meet Allah. You sitting, you don't know how many years left for you. You don't know. Have this as part of your agenda. Wallahi, thumma billahi, thumma tallahi, wa qasaman bi rabbil ula. If you started and you die tomorrow, Allah will place you among the rank of Huffaz. إنما الأعمال ولكل امرئ. What is the meaning of ولكل امرئ ما نوى? A man will only have what he intended. That's all what you will have. Only what he intended is what you will have from Allah. You intended to do it and you did not complete, Allah will give you the ajr of niyyah. So place, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70. I don't know, maybe I have 10 more, I have 20, I have 30, I don't know. Oh Allah, I want to memorize your book. Or if I have very weak memory, I want to make sure I know how to recite your book by looking at it perfectly before I meet you on the day of Qiyamah. On the day of Qiyamah, we have an-nudhar. Who are the nudhar? Those who really know how to recite Quran perfectly from the book, from Quran. They also have their special place and their special platform. So make this as your goal to achieve. So do not only place the children, you memorize Quran, you. I know there is a reward for a person whose child had memorized Quran in dunya, but also you want to have that as a reward from Allah subhanahu jalla fi'ula. So what you can do, I want to do it. I informed you before, a sister, in West Coast, who memorized Quran. She said, I want to memorize Quran before I meet Allah. And she met her goal at the age of 75, she finished. I mentioned this incident. I mentioned this, information and this sister to some of our brothers down in Columbus, Ohio. When I said that a woman said I wanted to memorize Quran, 5 years later, she memorized Quran. I did not mention the age. One of them said, Sheikh, is she married? I said, well, she's not. If you're ready, I can, you know the word. If you're not, I can put you together, But make sure you have your diary ready. He said, I'm ready like yesterday. I said, well, no problem, inshallah, I will contact her. She is 75. He said, no problem, brother Imam, that's fine. Say, brother Imam, that's fine. Thank you so much. May Allah bless her. And may Allah give her a Jannah. You see, now may Allah bless her. So this is, please have this as part of your goal. Somebody that you can sit once a week, twice, thrice a week, 4 times. Just make, I want to do this, even once a week. Brothers and sisters, Allah had given us all what we wanted. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. Were you to count the blessings of Allah on you, you won't be able to count them all together. So can't you give Allah even 30 minutes out of 24 hours? And He is the owner of 24 hours. Who gave you the 24 hours? If Allah takes the 24 hours from you, can you say, I'm busy? Brothers and sisters, can you say, oh Allah, I'm busy, oh Allah. If He takes the 24 hours, will you be busy? You won't be busy. So He gave them to you. And you're telling Allah, Allah, you know my circumstances and you know my situation. So please, make a commitment. I want to meet Allah. At least I'm in the sufuf of those people of Quran. Naam. So this is what I can say. Naam.
Jazakallah khair. Inshallah, we're going to end there. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.